On 29th November, Bhagavad Gita overview on Thursday. We're at chapter 1. Towards the last section we have to start today. We'll start with our prayers. Introduction, page number 1. Flip to introduction, page number 1 for our prayers. Page 1 and page 2. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamcha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. You take training from a frog like me. Doubt is not the name of the chapter 1. Doubt is the acronym for chapter 1. So how do we have our Bhagavad Gita overview pattern? We work each chapter with the help of an acronym, a short form. And then we open up the short form and the entire chapter is easy to understand. For chapter 1, the acronym is doubt. D-O-U-B-T, because this Bhagavad Gita begins with a doubt that Arjun had in his mind. What is the purpose of this battle? What is the purpose of his life? What is the purpose of him being a Kshatriya and everything like that? And then he had so many questions. Right now we've reached this point, turning point, where actually Arjun starts asking all these questions. And the excuses or the reasons why he doesn't want to fight the war was C, D, E, F, I. Do you remember? I'll just put it down up here. The date is 29th. Right? Yeah. No, I give it to her. Yeah. You can ask her something. Maybe someone has a Niti is a teacher, she told me.
I'll take.
I'll call you later.
It's still 32? Okay, last time was 32.
30? Yeah, possible.
Last time was 30.
I'll have to check.
Yeah, and the last one was 46.
40?
No, it's 46. 46.
I'll have to check.
It's mentioned 46 here. Yeah, 31 to 46, the turning point.
I'm just flipping to the last verse.
And the second one is 13 to 21.
13 to 20 and this is 21 to 20. Sorry.
Have I?
Oh. Okay. Back to school. Time to go back to school. So chapter 1 is observing the armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. It's just setting up the scene basically. How the whole Bhagavad Gita begins with Krishna speaking. Who speaks first? Dhritarashtra, the culprit for the Kurukshetra war. He speaks first. He speaks to Sanjay. He speaks with Sanjay. He has a conversation with Sanjay, his secretary. He wants to know what is happening on the battlefield, which side is doing what. His first predicament is, are they going to fight the war? What did they do? Is his first question. Kim akurvata Sanjaya, what are my children doing and what are the sons of Pandu doing? Right? After this question, Sanjay assures him, again from first D stands for the first 12 verses. After Dhritarashtra speaks, Sanjay informs him what is Duryodhan speaking to another D, to his guru, Drona. Then he shows him how Drupad's son has done this whole arrangement for the Pandavas. I'm doing this recap because we're meeting after 2 weeks now. So how he shows that how your sworn enemy Drupad and his son was the one whom you trained, and now look how he's so wonderfully arranged the whole phalanx, the whole army of the Pandavas. So now you don't be lenient to them. And then he glorifies Bhishma, and then immediately in the next verse he says that he's old, so all of us have to support him. And then slowly he glorifies the people on his side. He checks the people on the other side, and then there's a point when the conch shell is blown. First by Bhishma. The first person was to blow was Bhishma, and then there was the side of the Pandavas. And then in one of the shlokas we read how the hearts of the Kauravas were shattered by hearing the tumultuous sound of the roar of the conch shells from the Pandavas' side, which shows that we were just checking these ominous results. How there are bad omens for Duryodhan and good omens for Arjun, which is clear signs that Arjun will definitely win this war. And still there is uncertainty lurking in the mind of Arjun. And he starts speaking. What is the first sign of his uncertainty? He tells his charioteer. Now, who is his charioteer?
Krishna.
Krishna is the driver. Krishna is the apparent driver of this hero, Arjun. And what does he say? Can you please take me to the center of the battlefield? I want to see the supporters of this evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra, Duryodhan. And after doing this, Krishna takes him to the center, and what does he tell him? Does anyone remember? What does Krishna tell Arjun?
Now look here.
Yeah, he says, you look, there's no one new. If you want to see who's on the side of Duryodhan, there's nobody new. There are the same Kurus, they're the same Kauravas. And what is the smart thing that Krishna does? Krishna takes Arjun right in front of his weak spot. That is Bhishma and Drona. These two were the weakest spots in the heart of Arjun. And then what happens? When apparently if you would have taken him in front of Dushasan and Duryodhan or Karna, then Arjun would have been boiling and then would have been ready with the Gandhi. And then what happens now? Bhishma and Drona are in front, who Arjun knows that who wanted to be on his side, but apparently on the other side Arjun starts feeling weak. And then we see the point of there are 4 verses, 28, 29, 33 verses. We see how Arjun starts feeling weak. So before we start the turning point, I'm reading only translations of 28, 29 and 30. So you all can immediately turn to in front of Bhishma and Drona.
He should feel that way and he should...
So that he could speak the Gita. So when a doubt is not solved, bewilderment sets in. Now Arjun is bewildered. I'm reading Arjuna Vacha, verse number 28. Is everyone there? Only the translation. Verses will start from 31 onwards. Arjuna said, my dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering and my mouth drying up. My whole body is trembling. That's the next verse, 29th verse translation. My hair is standing on end. My bow, Gandiva, is slipping from my hand. It's a huge thing for a Kshatriya with the stature of Arjun. And my skin is burning. Then, 30th verse, I am now unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune, O Krishna, killer of the Keshi demon. As last time I pointed out that whichever demons Krishna killed in Vrindavan represented a particular weakness in our heart. Anartha. Anartha is unwanted. Artha is meaning. Anartha is meaningless or unwanted things which are filled in our heart. Like lust, anger, greed, pride. Did I give you the short form for that? For the 6 anarthas that we have? No? We'll be doing it later. But I'll keep mentioning the short form. You remember now? I am pagal. How can you forget this? I am pagal because of these 6 friends. Enemy. I stands for illusion. P stands for pride. A stands for my best friend, anger. G stands for greed. E stands for envy. L stands for lust. So IPAGEL, illusion, pride, envy. Jealousy, envy. G is greed. Illusion, pride, moh bolte na, that is illusion. Thinking that I am this body, that's the first thing which attacks us. Illusion, pride, anger, greed, envy, lust. Is that okay? Yeah, that I'll come to when I'm starting this. So these are the 6 anarthas, the 6 unwanted enemies. So the point I was making, that each demon represents this and friends of this. And they have more friends. 6 anarthas. Doubt. Keshi demon represents doubt. That's why Krishna is called as Keshav, one who killed the Keshi demon. So he's saying that this doubt has come in my mind, Krishna, I want you to kill it, solve it. So after this point, we start from 31 onwards and we see how he's giving points which cover C, D, E, F, I, where C stands for compassion. These are the reasons as to why, you want me to mention it again?
Yes.
C stands for compassion. Sorry, you didn't complete. Arjun gave certain reasons as to why he does not want to fight the war. Eventually he tells Krishna, Govinda, I shall not fight. Why? Because of these 5 reasons. And the entire 17 chapters of Bhagavad Gita are answers to the CDEFI. That's why I'm mentioning it again and again and again. D stands for destruction of family dynasty. I again forgot E.
Enjoyment.
Enjoyment.
Enjoyment, fear of physical.
Yeah. E, F is fear of sins. I is indecisiveness. Done? So we go through verses from 31 to 46 and see where is each one fitting. Sometimes one verse refers to even 2 of the reasons together, 3 reasons together, so we'll see. Verse 31, please repeat after me. Nachaya shreyo nupashyami Hatva svajanamahave Nakangshe vijayam Krishna Nacharajam sukhani cha. Translation together? Start. I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsmen in this battle. Nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom or happiness. 32, 33, 34, 35 are together. किं नो राजेन गोविन्द
किं नो राजेन गोविन्द
किं भोगैर्जीवितेन वा
किं भोगे जीवितेन वा
येषामर्थे काङ्क्षितं नो
येषामर्थे काङ्क्षितं नो
राज्यं भोगा सुखानि च
राज्यं भोगा सुखानि च
त इमेव स्थिता युद्धे
तैमेव स्थिता युद्धे
प्राणां त्यक्त्वा धनानि च
प्राणां त्यक्त्वा धनानि च
आचार्याः पितरः पुत्रास्
आचार्याः पितरः पुत्राः
तथैव च पितामहः
तथैव च पितामहः
मातुलाः श्वशुराः पौत्राः
मातुलाः
श्वशुराः पौत्राः श्यालाः सम्बन्धिनस्तथा
शालाः सम्बन्धिनस्तथा
एतान् हन्तुमिच्छामि
एतान् हन्तुमिच्छामि
नतोऽपि मधुसूदन
नतोऽपि मधुसूदन
अपि त्रैलोक्यराज्यस्य
अपि त्रैलोक्यराजस्य
हेतो किं नु मही कृते
हेतो किं नु मही कृते
निहत्य धार्तराष्ट्रान्नः
निहत्य धार्तराष्ट्रान्नः
का प्रीति स्यात् जनार्दन.
का प्रीति स्यात् जनार्दन.
Right. Start the translation. O Govinda, of what avail to us are a kingdom,
Happiness.
Yes, we'll just search it. Thank you.
Are ready to give up their lives and properties and are standing before me. Why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me?
O maintainer of all living entities, I am not prepared to fight with them, even in exchange for the three worlds, let alone this earth. What pleasure will be derived from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? 36th verse. पापमेवाश्रयेदस्मान्
पापमेवाश्रयेदस्मान्
हत्वैतानाततायिनः
हत्वैतानाततायिनः
तस्मान्नार्हा वयं हन्तुम्
तस्मान्नार्हा वयं हन्तुम्
धार्तराष्ट्रान् स बान्धवान्
धार्तराष्ट्रान् स बान्धवान्
स्वजनं हि कथं हत्वा
स्वजनं हि कथं हत्वा
सुखिनः श्याम माधव.
सुखिनः श्याम माधव.
Translation. Sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain, O Krishna, husband of the goddess of fortune, and how could we be happy by killing our own kinsmen? 37 and 38. यद्यपेतेन पश्यन्ति
यद्यपेतेन पश्यन्ति
लोभोपहत चेतसः
लोभोपहत चेतसः
कुलक्षय कृतं दोषम्
कुलक्षय कृतं दोषम्
मित्रद्रोहे च पातकम्
मित्रद्रोहे च पातकम्
कथं न ज्ञेयम् अस्माभिः
कथं न ज्ञेयमस्माभिः
पापादस्मान् निवर्तितुम्
पापादस्मान् निवर्तितुम्
कुलक्षय कृतं दोषम्
कुलक्षय कृतं दोषम्
प्रपशद्भिर्जनार्दन.
प्रपश्यति जनार्दन.
Translation. O Janardan, although these men, their hearts overtaken by greed, see no fault in killing one's family or quarreling with friends, why should we, who can see the crime in destroying a family, engage in these acts of sin. 39. Kulakshaye pranashyanti
Kulakshaye pranashyanti
Kuladharma sanatanaha
Kuladharma sanatanaha
Dharme nashte kulam kritsnam
Dharme nashte kulam krishnam
Adharmo bhibhavatyuta
Adharmo
bhibhavatyuta. Translation. With the destruction of the dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligion. 40th verse. Adharma bhibavat Krishna
Adharma vivat Krishna
Pradushyanti kulastriyaha
Pradushyanti kulastriyah
Srishu dushtasu varshneya
Srishudushtasu varshneya
Jayate varna sankaraha.
Jayate varna sankaraha.
Translation. When irreligion is prominent in the family, O Krishna, the women of the family become polluted, and from degradation of womanhood, O descendant of Vrishni, comes unwanted progeny. 41st shloka. Sankaro narakayaiva
Sankaro narakayaiva
Kulagnanam kulasya cha
Kuladhanam kulasya cha
Patanti pitaro heshan
Patanti pitaro yesham
Lupta pindodaka kriyaha.
Lupta pindodaka kriyaha.
Translation. An increase of unwanted population certainly causes hellish life both for the family and for those who destroy the family tradition. The ancestors of such corrupt families fall down because the performances for offering them food and water are entirely stopped. 42nd verse. Dosherete kulagnanam
Doshirete kuladhanam
Varna sankara karakehe
Varna sankara karakehe
Utsadyante jati dharmaha
Utsadante jati dharmaha
Kula dharmascha shashvataha.
Kuladharmascha shashvataha.
Translation. Evil deeds of those who destroy the family tradition and thus give rise to unwanted children, all kinds of community projects and family welfare activities are devastated. I think 3 more verses left. Utsanna kula dharmana
Utsanna kuladharmanam
Manushyanam janardana
Manushyanam janardana
Narake niyatam vaso
Narake niyatam vaso
Bhavati tyanushruma
Bhavati tyanushruma.
Translation. O Krishna, maintainer of the people, I have heard by disciplic succession that those whose family traditions are destroyed dwell always in hell. 44. Aho bata mahat papam
Aho bata mahat papam
kartum vyavasita vayam
Kartum vyavasita vayam
yad raja sukhalobhena
Yadraja sukhalobhena
hantum svajanamudyataha.
Antum svajanamudyataha.
Translation. Alas, how strange it is that we are preparing to commit greatly sinful acts. Driven by the desire to enjoy royal happiness, we are intent on killing our own kinsmen. 45. Yadi mama pratikaram
Yadi mama pratikaram
ashastram shastrapanayah
Shastram shastrapanayah
Dhatarashtrarane hanyus
Dhatarashtrarane hanyus
Tanme kshemataram bhavet.
Tanme shemataram bhavet.
Translation. Better for me if the sons of Dhritarashtra, weapons in hand, were to kill me unarmed and unresisting on the battlefield. Last verse. Sanjaya Uvacha.
Sanjaya Uvacha.
Eva Muktvarjuna Sankhe.
Eva
Muktvarjuna Sankhe. Rathopastha Upavishat.
Rathopastha Upavishat.
Visrijya Sasharam Chapam.
Visrijya Sasharam Chapam.
Shoka Samvigna Manasaha.
Shoka Samvigna Manasaha.
Translation. Sanjaya said, Arjun, having thus spoken on the battlefield, cast aside his bow and arrows and sat down on the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief. Finally, the hero says he doesn't want to kill the villain. What do we do? So verse number 31, we go again. So here Arjun is saying, I don't see how any good can come from killing my own kinsmen. Number one, when you take up something to do, you always see the benefit, the profit, some satisfaction at least. Okay, if you're working for a non-profit organization, there should be some satisfaction that you get. They call job satisfaction or some pleasure. Right? Generally, when we serve someone, it's either for some benefit or maybe the benefit of the other person or some satisfaction for ourselves. Here, Arjun is saying, I don't see any good. First of all, I kill my own kinsmen. I put so much of effort. My whole family is at a gamble. Thus, the opposite people are going to die. There's no benefit for them. There's no benefit for me. So, what good is going to come out of this battle? I don't understand. Why am I doing this activity that I'm doing? It seems to me useless. So, it's somewhat his indecisiveness. He's not understanding as to why am I doing this? Why am I standing today at the battlefield? What purpose is my life for? Right? So that is verse number 31. I think we stopped at aggressors. So I'll quickly do 32 to 35. He says, Kimno Rajena Govinda. He says, even if, okay, fine, after this whole war, I'm going to get a kingdom. Now, what is the kingdom? The entire planet. So it's not a joke. It's not just some gilli danda, the small kids are playing and they're going to win some toffees. They're going to win an entire planet. Now imagine when you have a whole mansion with, great lawns and everything. It's a big asset. Imagine owning the entire planet. This war was an entire rulership over a monarchy over an entire planet. So he says, but still, I'm doing this whole thing so that tomorrow I can pass it on to my children. Like Alexander, when he came to India and a saint from Vrindavan, he asked him, what are you doing all this for? He says, well, I'm going to win the entire world. I've almost covered the whole part of it. By the time he reached India, he had almost covered more than half of the globe. So he said, well, I'm going to marry 100 girls from all over the world. He said, what next? He said, I'm going to have 100 sons from each of these women. He says, then what next? He said, I'm going to distribute the entire planet to these 100 sons. So that's why you want more wealth, so that your children can stay happily. If we had a chance, we wouldn't work so hard. We would love to have some good inheritance that you just have to relax and, just on the interest everything is being done. Right? So sometimes you would want that we do the hard work so that our children or our generations have a very, relaxed life. In fact, we want them to study hard because of that, so that later they have a more relaxed life. And is that right? Yeah. So here he is saying, I get this whole kingdom, and then still what is the point? Because for whom I am doing this, you'll all be laying on the battlefield dead. So again, what's the point? Right? The second verse he says, O Madhusudan, when teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncles, fathers-in-law, grandsons, brothers-in-law and other relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties, they are standing before me for that, then why should I kill them? Today, he's talking about his side. He's not talking about opposite side. From his side, his father-in-law, Drupad is there. Drishtadyumna is there. That is like a brother-in-law. Correct? And then son-in-laws are there. Correct? So many of them are there. They are all standing. And what are they ready to give up? Everything. In fact, all these warriors that they had come, they had got all the strength of their army that they had, and they were standing on the side of Pandavas to fight for them. So Arjun is saying, so much I am gambling. They're doing so much for me, and what am I doing? I'm going to get them killed, and I'm going to enjoy in happiness. Is it worth it? That was point 2. Then the third point he says in this verse, he says, O Madhusudan, and that's Madhusudan, O maintainer is Janardhan. Each name means something. Madhusudan is the killer of Madhu demon, and then Janardhan is, Jana is those who, the general mass. Ardhan is one who maintains them. So instead of maintaining them, you're killing the people. You're killing so many people. In fact, I had the exact count. I think after the whole war, Yudhishthir did a census as to how many people exactly were killed in the battlefield. I think it was 1.6 billion people. Yeah, so it's a huge thing. So Arjun can see all this. That's why he's going through this, whole. And so now you can imagine what Arjun is going through. That what is the amount of loss that is going to happen in the entire globe. Correct? I think our population is 6 billion now. Imagine 1.6 is like 1/5 of it wiped out, gone. Right? So here he is saying, O Janardhan, you're supposed to maintain the living entities. I'm not prepared to fight with them even in exchange for 3 worlds. He said, forget about this planet. Even if you give me the higher planetary system, the lower planetary system, and the middle planetary system. In Journey of Self-Discovery, we saw how this whole structure is divided into 3 parts, 3 broad parts. The hellish planets, the gross and subtle mixed, that is the middle planetary system, and then the heavenly planets, that is again 6 planetary systems. So 6 plus 1 is our Earth, our earthly planetary system, and plus 7 down below us. The last is Patal. So total 14. So he's calling it 3 because it's heavenly, middle, and hellish. So he's saying, even if you give me this whole 14 planetary systems, I'm not ready to fight and kill 1.6 billion people. It's very difficult for me. He says, what pleasure will we derive by killing even the sons of Dhritarashtra? These people are anyway killed by their own sins. Hum maar ke kya karenge? Okay? 36. This is where we stopped last class. He speaks about Atatai. Do you remember? The first word, which we will look at this in this verse, Papameva Shraye Dasman Hatvaitan Atataina. Atatai is a criminal. Now, according to Manu Samhita, do you know what is Manu Samhita? The first human being, which, Manu and his wife, I forget his wife's name, Brahma, the first human being that he gives birth to, and he gives this earth planet to rule, is Manu and his wife, Swayambhuva Manu. And he wrote down certain laws for mankind. So in that particular laws, there were some laws for criminals. So there are 6 kinds of criminals or aggressors, as in Sanskrit here is called Atatai. So if any of these 6 aggressors, if someone kills, they will not get any bad karma in return. So who are these 6 kinds of people? It's given in the purport, the first 4 lines. The purport written by Prabhupada. There's a paragraph after each translation.
We mark that.
Yeah, we mark that. So it's written according to Vedic injunctions. Can you all see that?
Yeah.
There are how many kinds of aggressors? 6 kinds of aggressors. Number 1, a poison giver. Number 2, one who sets fire to someone's house. Number 3, one who attacks with deadly weapons. Number 4, one who plunders riches. Number 5, one who occupies another's land. Number 6, one who kidnaps a wife. And the next line is, such aggressors are at once to be killed, and no sin is incurred by killing such aggressors. That means the king, even at the time of monarchy, if they would catch someone, and if they would realize that this person has killed someone in defense because of these 6 reasons, then that person would have been set free. No case, no court case against them at all. No trial. Immediately that person is set free, because even by laws of nature that person is not incurring any sin. And when this person is caught, one of these 6, if they've caught killed by someone, and it's another story. If they're caught by the king, it's only one punishment. It's capital punishment, beheaded. Because such elements who are rapists, they're violent, and they are a problem in the society, trouble elements in the society, no space for them, not even an inch, not even trial for 2 years. no maintenance, no crores of rupees spent on them. You know what I'm talking about. So then it's directly beheading them. Correct? Because it is said, because even these people, they accrue so much of karma. If they carry that, if they're scot free or something, when they take birth in the next life, they will suffer like anything. And in fact, they will be killed by the way they have killed someone else, or they'll go through the same thing and it's a trouble. If immediately that person is given that pain of beheading, at least that sin is immediately neutralized. So you can start from a clean slate from the next birth onwards. And our laws, unfortunately, do not recognize these things because they don't understand the eternity of the soul and change of bodies and how a person will carry this law of karma on his head, birth and birth and birth again. So the king actually does a favor to that criminal by beheading him immediately. And plus, what does he do? Does he encourage the others to follow that act? Right? So if you see, all the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra fit into all 6. Poison giver? Right at their childhood days, he had poisoned Bhim. In fact, those kheer, he gave kheer to Bhim. Actually, that kheer was meant, that poison was just a drop, and it had such potency, it could kill 10 elephants. And Bhim, it's so funny, that story. Duryodhan gives him in the morning, and that poison starts affecting on Bhim only in the evening. Yeah, after eating that whole kheer, it starts affecting him in the evening. He was a little drowsy, a little groggy. And then what does Duryodhan and Dushasan do? Ties him up, throws him in the river. And what happens then? The whole story. Bhim actually comes back much more powerful because, then Varuna and the other gods who live under the rivers, they actually gave him an antidote which had a side effect. The side effect is, it would give him power of 10,000 elephants. So when he drank it, it was like, he came back much more powerful. And actually Kunti and Pandavas, all of them knew what happened to Bhim. It's not that they didn't know, but they still kept quiet about it. They didn't do anything about it. Kunti taught tolerance and patience, and actually we might see as a violence on them, but still, she said it's okay. It's fine, at least he's come back. Krishna has always done good. Right. So poison giver, number 1, they fit in that bill. Number 2, one who sets fire to the house. All of us know how Dhritarashtra, along with his son and Shakuni, is Duryodhan's uncle, what do? They conspire a whole thing, they build a house for recreation which is mixed with wax, easily flammable material, and they set it on fire. So even that, Lakshagra, yeah. Lakshagra, that word comes from, the wax. That whole house was built with flammable material. Easily be set on fire. Not much effort. So number 2, second bill also they fit. Number 3, one who attacks with deadly weapons. When did this happen? They attacked Virat Desh. The 13th year, without announcing, all of them attacked with deadly weapons on this unprepared state. Number 4, one who plunders riches. Literature and land, both of them were taken away. Riches specifically were taken away in the, what was that called? Rigged match. A rigged match. Yeah. This actually, it's a game played by all Kshatriyas. All Kshatriyas generally, this game is played at home. Even Krishna in Dwarka played it at home with his wife and with his minister. But when there's money, then that's gambling. Then it's wrong. And it's wrong between Duryodhana and Pandavas because the dice which was made was out of the bones of Shakuni. It's a whole tantric act. So whatever he would throw, it would always be on the favor of Duryodhana. That's why it's a rigged match. What do you say? What is there in cricket? What do they do? Fixing, match fixing. The match was fixed already. Okay. So one plunders, riches are gone. And number 5 is one who occupies another's land. According to the whole gambling match, what was the criteria? The 13 years they have to go, 12 years they have to go into Vanvas. That means they can't fit into any human civilization. 12 years they have to be strictly in a forest, away from human civilization. 13th year, they have to hide. Disguise themselves, incognito, they have to live somewhere without being identified. It's like asking Amitabh Bachchan to hide. No matter how he comes, you're going to recognize him. The Pandavas were so famous all throughout the world. How would they hide? But somehow they pulled it off. And when they came back, they wanted their land back. So what? And even after, Duryodhana said, I won't give you. They said, okay, we have 5 brothers. Give us 5 villages. Imagine they actually entitled to the entire planet. And what are they asking for? 5 villages. Not that, I think won't even cover Mumbai. 5 villages. Duryodhana tells them, I won't even give you enough land through which you can drive a pin through. So arrogant. So, 5th bill also is gone. Occupies another's land. 6th is who kidnaps a wife. When did they kidnap a wife? Jarasandha? Does anyone remember? Dushala's husband. What was his name? Jayadratha. Even I got confused when he said Jarasandha. Jayadratha. That was one special person. How was he related? He was Duryodhana, and the 100 brothers only had one sister, Dushala. Her husband kidnapped Draupadi during their 13 years of Vanvas. When the husbands were not around, they were practicing their warfare. He kidnapped Draupadi, almost took her very far till the others could. So the 6th person also is in. So technically, if Arjun kills these people, he will not get any sin. But then what is he saying? After this whole episode, what does he say? He says, but still, he says, Krishna, how can we be happy by killing them? There's something called compassion. After all, Arjun was a devotee. Even though now you see, imagine these 6 things itself is such a big catastrophe. Even one of it, even someone takes away your land, someone takes away your riches, someone kidnaps you, what will happen? What is the whole, your heart, your emotions will go through. Imagine fitting into all these 6 things. After so many years, finally they have a, one chance to fight back. And now Arjun is saying, no, we'll have compassion on them. So that's a nature of a person who's a very soft-hearted person. Arjun was a very soft-hearted person. Although being a Kshatriya, he had a soft heart. And that's why he was a devotee. He said, it's okay, there's something called a higher principle, which is compassion, forgiveness, tolerance. Just forgive these people. Because after all, they are my relatives. They are my cousins. So 37th and 38th, please repeat after me. यद्यपेतेन पश्यन्ति लोभोपहत चेतसः कुलक्षय कृतं दोषम् मित्रद्रोहे च पातकम् कथं न ज्ञेयम् अस्माभिः पापदस्मान्निवर्तितुम् कुलक्षय कृतं दोषम् प्रपश्यद्भिर्जनार्दन. Translation, start. O Janardan, although these men, their hearts overtaken by greed, see no fault in killing one's family or quarreling with friends, why should we, who can see the crime in destroying a family, engage in these acts of sin? He's saying they don't understand that it is sinful, but we have better brains. We can understand that it is sinful. After understanding, when you do things on purpose, there's one thing which is done by mistake. There's another thing which is done on purpose. Even laws of karma, they discriminate amongst people who do things on purpose and do things by mistake. The amount of reaction that you get is it's different, considerably less for a person who's doing it by mistake. It's ignorant, and another person who is doing it on purpose. You're seeing that maybe they don't understand because their greed has covered their eyes. Greed on property, greed on Draupadi, they covered their eyes. But at least we can understand what we're doing. So we can stop. And that's why I don't want to fight. 39. Kulakshaye pranashyanti
Nashyanti
Kula Dharma Sanatana
Kula Dharma Sanatana
Dharme Nashte Kulam Krishnam
Dharme Nashte
Kulam Krishnam Adharmo Bhivavatyuta.
Adharmo Vibhavatyuta.
Translation: with the destruction of the dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligion. So right now he has come to destruction of family dynasty. He says, now he is talking about 1.6 billion people here, out of which a lot of elderly people are there in this battlefield. Sometimes the younger ones might be excused, but the elders have to be a part of this important event. It's actually an event. It's a whole Mahabharat, they call it. This whole planet is called Bharat Varsha, and Mahabharat is that war for this planet. So all the important people, all the elder members of the family are today present on this battlefield. If all of them are killed, who will teach the traditions to the younger generations? Right? Now generally when we have a program in the house, there's some ritual, something going on, we usually ask the people who are older, who've done it before, and then we follow that particular same ritual, the same pattern. There's some format is done in the house. When you have a mother-in-law in the house, you know the things, then you teach your future generations or your children. If they are not there, what happens? The kind of sense of discipline in the house is not there. Now, I don't know if you all know that, even if that sense is not there. So here he's thinking about that. He's thinking of a larger picture. He's saying that imagine if all the elder members in the family are gone, what will happen? The rest of the family will become involved in irreligion. There will be no discipline in that matters. Next verse, now he is continuously thinking the repercussions of that. So the next verse, 40th and 41st verse are both interconnected. Adharma bhibavat Krishna
Adharma Bhagavat Krishna
Pradushyanti kulastriyah
Pradushyanti Kulastriyah
Strishu dushtasu varshneya
Dushtasu Varshneya
Jayate varna sankarah.
Jayate Varna Sankarah.
Translation: when irreligion is prominent in the family, O Krishna, the women of the family become polluted, and from the degradation of womanhood, O descendant of Vrishni, comes unwanted progeny. So here in a family, there are always two delicate members, children and women. Children are innocent, of course, but what about women? Generally, according to Shastra, women have to be either in the control or under the guidance of their father, husband, or their son, or son-in-law, whatever. Always under guidance. Because she is precious. When something is precious, it has to be protected. Any future generation, we might think, it is regression. But actually it's protection. Because something, what would you protect? Something which is very precious. Something which is, prone to be exploited. Then you try to protect it. And why are the Vedas always trying to protect women? Because the future generation which is going to rule or either be the leaders of the society, the maximum time they spend is with the mother. Right from the 9 months in the womb to later on also when they grow up, the father is busy outside. The most association that they're going to get is from the mother. The values, right from the values to the discipline to the culture in the house is brought about by the women in the house. And if those women became degraded, what happens? Or if they are, when the husbands are wiped out in the battlefield, they become open to exploitation for other men. All of us know this, generally when we don't have someone who is unmarried for a long time, unscrupulous men tag them as available. They are prone to exploitation. It's a known fact. And this is what Arjuna is worried about. He's saying what will happen to the future generation? Number one, we're wiping out the elder members of the family. The traditions will not be followed. Once all the husbands and the elders in the family are gone, the women and the children become prone to exploitation. We see as soon as our children reach the teenage, what happens? Everybody is ready to pounce on them. Right from advertising campaigns to everything is, if you see, everything is spotted on teenagers, right from music channels to these teen channels and reality shows. They're all about what teenagers are doing, because that age is very innocent. They themselves are going through so much of change, right from hormonal change to bodily change to even in the family they want some changes in the family. When it doesn't happen, it's kind of crazy. We don't think what they go through, even though we've been through the same thing, right? It's a lot, and in fact, it'll only get worse later. So that's how much more understanding we need. Arjun understood this. He said that these two members of the family, the women and children. Why are women more innocent? Because they think from their heart. Head department comes second. Heart department comes first, and that's why they become more prone to exploitation. So here he wants to protect these two members of the family. He says when irreligion is prominent in the family, the first to be exploited are the women and the children. Family becomes polluted. From degradation of womanhood, then what will happen? There will be unwanted progeny. He's very worried. In fact, Prabhupada points this out in many of his books. He says how US, they're functioning, that without marriage they're getting children. And then what happens? The woman is left pregnant and the man walks out very conveniently. Because there's no system of marriage, there's no system of the family being involved, there's no system of the society being involved. If they are involved, they can immediately pull up, the man and make him more responsible. You can either talk to him or at least find some solution. When teenagers, they elope and they get married, then it's very difficult. Eventually the burden is on the government. Because, they have to take care of the girl, they have to take care of the child also. How much burden will the government take? Because they already have so many things to do, right? So here, this is the case which is happening in US, and slowly it's trickling down even to India. It's a loss of culture, it's a loss of tradition. When the elder members of the family don't follow things, it's very bound to happen that if the younger children will not learn. Apparently, when you tell them something, they won't follow. They do what you do. If you do something, they'll do it. If you say something, they do exactly the opposite. So there's a difference in activity. So that's why Arjun is saying that they need to see someone who's following family tradition, and that person is out. It's very difficult for future generations to follow. So here he is worried about the future generations will become unwanted children. It's specifically this word he uses is Varna Sankara. It's unwanted progeny, it's unwanted children. Born by mistake or born without good sanskars, born out of marriages. 41st verse. Sankaro narakayaiva Kunagnanam kulasya cha Patanti pitaro hesham Lupta pindodaka kriyaha. So he's saying now, elder members of the family are killed, traditions will be gone. Traditions will be gone, the protected members of the family, that's the children and the women, become exploited. When women become exploited, there will be unwanted progeny. This kind of unwanted population will not follow any of the traditions, the most important one being Pindadan. Pinda Kriya, that is giving your forefathers some food and offerings, some prasad which is offered to the, that's not Pindadan in Nasik or Godavari, or sometimes even every year people do this. So what happens? When we give prasad to our forefathers, whatever little sinful reactions they had pending before their death is immediately vanquished. It's one of the karma kanda processes, of trying to vanquish sinful reactions. It actually works. A lot of our forefathers, if they're trapped in ghostly bodies, this Pindadan really helps. Mostly in Pindadan, generally the pattern according to Vedic rules is that the bhoga is offered to Vishnu, and then those remnants, that prasad, is offered to the forefathers. And wherever they are, they immediately get the benefits of this, of accepting this prasad. Now you might wonder, God knows where they are, in which planetary system, and how do they get it? When you play or bin online, it goes. You don't understand the whole system. If a child is there, you won't understand that my father pays through credit card online and how is the electricity still on. There is a certain system of how even the forefathers get these things. And they can be freed from sinful bodies, they can be sinful from ghostly bodies. So it's a very important ritual which is a part of the 13 sanskars given to each person. Now I'll stop here. There's one last thing. In the purport, there's one shloka from the Bhagavatam. The same verse, 41st verse, there's a purport, and the last paragraph is a shloka from the Srimad Bhagavatam. It is stated in Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 5th chapter, verse number 41. Devarshi bhutaptanrinam pitrinam na kinkaronayam rini charajan sarvatmaya sarvatmanaya sharanam sharanyam gato mukundam pariditya kartam. What does it mean? Every person who is born, I'm not reading that, I'm just giving every person who takes a birth, human birth, immediately he has 6 debts, 6 loans to pay. Devarshi, once to the demigods, because they give us rain, earth, water, fire, all these things are free, we are not paying any bill for it, right? So we have a loan towards the demigods. Then we have a loan towards our forefathers, because of that we've got this lineage to be born in, right? Then we have to our immediate relatives, to our parents, to our siblings, we have a certain loan to pay to them, because when we're growing up, they have a lot of contribution towards our growing up here. So we have a loan to them. General human kind, we have every human being has a loan to pay to the general humankind. Now that is like an exchange. Everyone has this loan, then there's a sort of gratitude and a giving propensity. So this 4th loan is there. 5th loan is to teachers, to the sages, to the teachers who teach us and make us what we are today. 6th loan is to whom? I forgot. Devarshi bhutapta patram yaninam na kinkaro nayam rini charajan. General living entities, demigods, sages is the teachers, general living entities. Humankind and general living entities are 2 separate. Humankind is only the humans, and general living entities is to the trees, to the grains, to every living, to the environment basically. We have this environment awareness. So even to the environment we have a loan to give. And each thing to be, when we do certain yajna, we can pay off the loan to the demigods. When we give Guru Dakshina, the loan to the teacher is paid off. And then when we do some charity, like building a garden or having some charity like constructing a well, constructing a hospital. So to the humankind it is paid off. Even to general living entities we can kind of, have, before having our food, we generally give away the cows, something, we feed sometimes people feed pigeons, crows are fed. Having a general habit of this, then to the general living entities you are giving your rin, it's paid off. And then to forefathers is by Pindadan. Anyone else is left out? I hope not. Family members is by service. Once they get old, you serve them. Because when you were young, they were serving you. Young age and old age is like, infant age and old age is like almost the same thing. You really need assistance from someone else. So when they help you in young age, when they get too old, you pay off their loan. So these 6 loans are paid off by these 6 efforts. And Srimad Bhagavatam says that if you simply Gato Mukundam Pariritya Kartam, anyone who has taken shelter of lotus feet of Mukunda, the giver of liberation, what does it say? These 6 loans are automatically paid off. You don't have to do an extraneous effort for paying each of these loans. It's automatically paid. Yeah? So here, why did I stop and do suddenly a diversion here? Or why is Prabhupada mentioning this in between? Because he's saying that all these excuses or reasons that Arjuna is giving, eventually they'll be solved. We might think, why did he fight the war? Because Mahabharata abhi ho gaya 5000 years pehle. And so we are wondering that how did it happen? Because there is a higher principle. For each of these things, Krishna eventually gives in the later chapters also, even in Srimad Bhagavatam, he gives something higher principles that human beings are supposed to live for. for every way to live, there are always two cuts. There's one long cut and one short cut. The shortcut is you surrender to Krishna. That's actually a shortcut. And the long cut is you keep paying these 6 loans. You worry about your relatives eventually going to leave you. Right? All these things are there. So either there's a long cut and there's a shortcut. The shortcut will be the 17 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. Right? So compared to all the Vedanta Sutras and the 108 Upanishads, when you go to read, Bhagavad Gita is definitely shorter because it emphasizes surrender to Krishna, which solves everything. So the C, D, E, F, I, they seem very serious and urgent. They're not urgent. The most urgent thing is surrender to Krishna, because everything else is solved. And how does that work? Just because I'm saying it? It will show, Krishna shows that it is practical and it actually works. Watering the root of the tree always works. And when you water only the leaf, only the fruit, still the whole tree is undernourished. The nourishment comes from the root, and the root is Mukunda, the root is Krishna. Watering the root always makes sense. So we'll stop here. We'll chant one small verse, then we'll end the class, and Prabhuji will come.